Hello. I have just started the stream. Wow, there's a lot of people here. I just started 2 seconds ago. I got to get some morning tea started. I've been getting SEO'd and recommended. Well, that's terrible. That is a sign that quality will go downhill. Okay. I want to rename a few things. Listen to that tea getting ready. Mmm. Yes. Well, that was a very easy renaming. Well, we'll see if I broke something. We're gonna have to test that feature. What do I think about From Software games? Why do people ask me this kind of question? Okay. We're now armed with hot tea. I've talked about a different library format to replace ELF static versus dynamic linking. It's not just ELF, but everybody. Look, all this stuff is from the 1970s. And it's way too complicated for what it does. And a lot of the provisions it makes are no longer necessary on modern computers. If you designed a linking system for modern executables that was as simple as possible without sacrificing significant performance, it would be tremendously better than what we currently have. Another beta already. Yeah, this one I want to ship because it has the default meta program and it has the modules directories, which are two things that people have been requesting. Or the default meta program is just so major that it's time to get it out there. And then there might be a little bit of a pause period while I work on other projects for a few weeks and don't kick the betas out very fast. But it was just, yeah, good progress was being made, and it's time to turn it over. Well, compiler, no, this format doesn't exist. This is like if you made an operating system. You can't change your operating systems. You can't add an executable format to your operating system without rewriting your operating system. No, we won't output that. Yeah, it doesn't exist. So, yeah, someday, if an operating system project happens, but that will not be for a long time. Would I invent it? It's not even a matter of inventing anything. It's not really an invention because you don't have to do anything new. You just have to remove a lot of the complexity from the existing formats. That's all. It's straightforward work, honestly. What do you recommend for healthy? I don't need tricks to have a healthy, productive day. I just decide that I want to have a healthy, productive day, and then I do. Okay. Someday soon we'll turn the camera on. But I probably still look too much like I just rolled out of bed. So I want to just test this to make sure it still works because we apparently don't have anything that does that. Let me just hack the default meta program for a minute. So I have this program here which will not work because it imports something from the current directory. If I do this, import dir dot, there we go. So then it works, right? So you didn't used to be able to say that on the command line. Can I get it to compile by setting this without doing that option? And I can just go to the default meta program and I could probably hack it. I could say, no check-in. Options modified is true, so that will set build options below. And I will say new import path is an array of string array add new import path dot dot options dot import path array add new import path comma dot. So now dot will be included no matter what. It didn't work. Did I break import path? It's possible. Oh, no, because I didn't do this. Options.import path is new import path. Duh. Okay, it works. Guys, you have to set the variable. You have to set the variable. When do you plan to increase the number of beta testers? We are slowly increasing it all the time. I just added a couple more people a few days ago. You know, we're probably averaging between 5 to 10 new beta testers a month right now, depending. And I don't know if that'll stay constant, but it's just been useful to add people. All right, let's turn the camera on. I'm gonna look all morning tired and stuff. Let me drink a little caffeine first. Just so I can psychologically, let's get the caffeine drink sounds. See, it's more like a radio show when there's no camera. Can you run without a libc? Right this second, you cannot yet, but that is on the roadmap. We are very close to making that feasible. You just can't quite do it yet. The main reason is we use malloc, and there might be one or two other functions that we use, but those functions are removable. However, if you're going to link anything that uses libc, you kind of have to use libc, and most people want to link things that use libc. Kind of like the radio show vibe. Maybe we'll do more of that at some point and have actual sounds and stuff. Okay. This is good. This thing works. We can check in this little bit of a rename. Name tweaks, period. Will it be possible to run the output program with programs like Valgrind? Sure, why not? How do you get rid of malloc? You just have to, malloc is just a function. It's just, you know, in the C library, it's just written in C. You don't need to do assembly. You just need your own function, right? Actually, honestly, the main reason why I took so long to replace malloc is just malloc replacements tend to be very complicated and a lot of code, and I didn't want like a lot of code to be baked into everybody's program, although if you're linking to a binary, that's sort of true anyway. I don't know. But there are some malloc variants that are not that big now. So like mi malloc is not that big, and we could just port it. And also, I feel like there could be a compiler feature where you just say like, hey, this is the default allocator, and let people override that. So like we could put, there's this module called basic that a lot of people would use, and we could put a default allocator in there. And then, but you could use a different one if you wanted, or not have one, or make your own, right? You can already make your own allocator, right? That part works great. The problem is just like if you don't want the default allocator at all and don't even want that code in your program, there's not a way to say that right now. But there's totally not a way to say that in C or C++. So is there a new version of Juicy Asteroids? Yes, there is. They had a demo week on Steam. Do I imagine there would be different implementations of standard libraries? Well, I mean, the way they usually go is that most of the module is portable, and then once in a while, you use some things that are custom to particular operating systems, and then you use a static if around those things. Can a metaprogram output the source after a transformation? Sure, if you want to, yes. Does Elixir preserve white space? No. Like, if you want to preserve white space, you're probably better off starting with the original file and then using the information from the metaprogram to edit the file as opposed to reprinting from the AST. I mean, the AST tells you you could reconstruct the white space because the AST tells you like file and line and column and all that, right? So you could like pad to next column or whatever. But what if you want to output something that's longer than the original thing was and runs over into the next thing? You know, I mean, you can't preserve in that case, right? And so what do you do and whatever. Also, we don't send you comments right now in the AST. And I doubt that I will ever, or maybe for a very long time. Have you replaced the math functions like sine, cosine, etc.? We replaced a bunch of them. There might be a couple left that we didn't do. Wouldn't you just not link against libc if you didn't want to? You don't have that option right now. That's what we were saying. And also the compiler expects right now that when your program starts, that there is a default allocator that it can fall back on, and the only thing that sets that default allocator right now sets it to malloc, right? So that is a thing that we will change that we have not changed yet. Oh, there was another thing I was going to add that we could test. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let me write up what it is going to be. Build options now has fields that can contain arbitrary user data for communicating between workspaces when you create new ones. They are user data U64, user data string, user data pointer, user data pointer size. See the definition of build options of compiler modules, compiler.build options for detail. Oh, this is going to be a sick beta. When you create a new workspace, these fields get copied from your current workspace, and of course you can set them with set build options. That's going to be sick. I don't know why I didn't think to do that a long time ago. Okay. User data string is a string. User data pointer is a pointer to void. User data pointer size is going to be S32. Pad that out. Padding that out. In my opinion, what is the best compiler dev book? I do not know. I don't really like any of them. Some people were saying that they liked crafting interpreters, but that's not really about full compilers, right? Interpreters are not full compilers, but you could try that. That's online. I don't really know. I just sort of skimmed that. I don't know if it's actually good, but it's probably lightweight and easy to follow. Yeah, there are platform-specific modules. Like modules could be either platform-specific or not, as you want. It's just up to the author of the module. If you wanted to add support for your OS, you would only need to provide a module. No, no. There's more to it than that. Yeah, the inline enums are they're good in a lot of cases. It really cuts down on verbosity. Why is pointer size in S32 and not U64? Because the intended use is not for you to pass gigabytes of data. The intended use is like, you know, 356 bytes or something. Like, let's be real here. Inline ASM will be super cool. Yeah, that's just a big feature on its own. But, you know, a lot of our other big features are done or close to done. So we're kind of running out of big features to do before inline assembly. Optimizer comes first, though, probably. Like some degree of optimizer. But we even got part of that now. So things are good. All right. Let me do some things here. Let's put these fields in the compiler version of this. So I'm going to do that, and then I also want to assert when we finish the preload. Oh, we can't assert on. Oh no. Okay. When we do set build options, oh great, there's someone outside with a leaf blower. It's my favorite thing. Set build options. Okay, so R1 is the workspace handle, R0 is the pointer to the build options type. Let's see. Like, I just want an easy way. Sometimes it's annoying to like reach into the compiler and get things because they're not in known places. So like I want struct build. Okay, let me just break in set build options and see what we've got to work with. No, I want this one. Okay. We're just going to run there. Hopefully we're running a program that actually sets build options. Oh, whoops. I might have skipped it. What is taking so long? I just tried to quit Visual Studio. Oh, yeah, that should be fine. We'll just sit here and go to sleep while we wait for it to do things. Okay. Dude. Oh, I changed the name of it. Value info. Oh, except we have no bytecode. Right. Oh, I can look at Lambda. Lambda arguments block dot members data 0. Inferred type struct desc. Yeah. So basically, define type size. I just want to check this size because these structs are pretty big, and I want to make sure they're synced between the runtime and the compiler. So it's called arguments block. Yep. So this might not actually succeed, and then we'll see. All right. Unexpected end of file in macro expansion. There we go, 232. Size of build options is 232. Okay, so that doesn't guarantee it's correct because you could have things in the wrong order and they still aligned or whatever, but it's a good safety check. It's good assurance that it's correct. Okay, so now when we say set build options, I think it's just a mem copy, right? Yeah, we mem copy and then we do stuff over. When we do I'm a little bit up in the air about when to do this stuff. Like, should build options copy its data? Right now, when we make a new workspace, we do. I'm not going to mess with this too hard because I don't want to break the beta right before we ship. But like, this is kind of weird at this point. we go through this effort to copy strings and so forth when creating a new workspace because we might eventually free memory from the old interp, but we don't do it when the user calls set build options. So they need to make sure memory is permanently allocated. You should be more consistent about this, probably by moving this stuff to set build options and just calling that from here, maybe. Okay, that's great. That's great. We're just going to continue to do it here, though, because we're shipping this beta and not disrupting. So, what do we do for the rest of build options? I'm pretty sure we copy it. Like what? Now I'm confused, everybody. Doesn't look like we really do call that from anywhere. So what is the deal? I thought we copy everything. Is that not true? I'm not going to mess with it. Again, this will be something to resolve later. We have enough things to ship right now. Okay. Oh. Let me initialize these. And also here. Oh, those are initialized. What am I talking about? Then here we will say because it's C++, it doesn't do void star correctly. malloc creator build options user data pointer size. Size is going to be this. We're just going to make sure it's not complete garbage. We malloc by the size. We mem copy result. by size, and then we do that. Okay. Let's just test this by hacking the default metaprogram again. Null. Lol. That's not a thing. Oh, you know, we should get that memory from the target interp and not from malloc, right? Oh, and this needs this. How would it be larger than the largest signed 32-bit int? I don't know, man. That's a good point. All right. So, let's just make sure things function, and then we'll test the actual new stuff. But we're making sure we didn't break old stuff. Okay, now if I go to the default metaprogram, I'm going to say before the create workspace, I'm going to say no check-in, please. Options.user data U64 is OX cafe babe food face. Options.user data string is hello sailor. Options.user data pointer is going to be, let's see. Let's just say, I don't want to like import math or anything. Let's just make a local struct. Okay, F is I guess we import basic here. And then f.x is 1, f.y is 4, f.z is 9. Set build options. Right. Whoops, get build options on myself. Oh, haha. Right. That is not how you would use this. That is fine though, because we actually want to do this down here. We do this down here. So every single program in the universe is going to get these build options, which is silly. Okay, but when I go to the Sokoban game now, can't type. I don't know what all that was about. Oh, shared memory. Oh. I forget what that was all about. Okay, I vaguely remember doing that. Anyway, here's what I'm going to do. Oh, we have build options. So I'm going to no check in here. I'm going to say defaults.user data u64 in base 16. I just want to make sure these are all right. And now I'm going to say a foo is one of these. F is cast pointer to foo of defaults.user data pointer. And F is whatever F. All right. There we go. The data got successfully moved from the default meta program to our non-default meta program. And in fact, actually, because it gets copied, we should be able to do all this in the actual program. So if I go to main, not CPP, if I go to main for the Sokoban game, and I do a run directive here, that should even work. Make sure, I think I got rid of it there, yeah. There we go. Success. It feels good. Feels good. Okay. Almost as good as deleting code. Now, well, we check that in. We check that in. Commit, add, not ass, add user data pointers to build Opterinos. Dang it. Oh yeah. Yeah, we gotta delete more code, such as this. We do not leave that in. We do not leave that in. I forgot user pointer size. No, that works. I mean, we could have printed it, but the main use of that member is to know how much of the memory to copy. Oh, do we? Let's just I verify that we copy that. If we don't copy that, that's actually pretty bad. Yeah, we don't. So the reason this worked, I'm actually not sure why it worked through 2 levels of meta program. I don't actually know why it appeared to work. I know why it would work past 1 level, because you copy it with the correct size the first time, but then you throw away the size. So the second time the size would be 0. I don't see why we wouldn't have had garbage data the second time. Well, let's fix it. Let's bring this back, and let's bring this back. And let's verify that that is wrong. Yeah. So how is F set to the right thing? Because like I could understand copying the pointer in a memcopy and then it points to the same place, but we explicitly overwrite the pointer if it's non-null. So is that part wrong? Question mark. Let me see. Let's go back here, even. And let's print the pointer as well. Because I really don't know why this worked at all. Okay, so now we should, oops. Okay, so U64 string address, oh, the address is the same. What? Is it get current workspace? Get work. How do we know our current workspace? Oh, I think it's in preload now. Get current workspace, yeah. All right. Whoops. I put a P somewhere right there. So then I'll put this one back here. I got to get rid of some of these. Kill that. All right. So this is workspace 2. This is workspace 3. I honestly don't totally get it. My theory now is that these copies that I'm doing do not actually do anything because we're mem copying over the result later. So like, let's just not do this. I bet we still get the same pointer. Oh, that's debug. Oh, guys, I don't know how old of compiler we're even using right now, because that was release build. Wah, wah, wah. People talk about the billion-dollar mistake being null pointers. I think the billion-dollar mistake is debug versus release build. Okay, so yeah, so we're mem copying after this, which actually means that all of this stuff is not doing anything. Why not just pass array of U8? I don't know, because you might not be conceptualizing it as an array. You know, maybe that's a thing to do, but I'm just not going to do that. for now. You should put old type safeguards in your memory allocation on debug. I don't even know what you're saying. But also thanks for telling me how to program. I really appreciate it. I really need help there, guys. Now let me get some more tea going. Adding a guard page at the end of every memory block allocation. Well, sure, you can do things like that. Okay, actually, I know what's going on here. It is that this thing does, this does get called. The compiler doesn't do the memcopy that I'm talking about, but the user program does get its own build options and then set build options on the target workspace, which would have the result of overriding these values if we don't do these copies in set build options, which we should according to my comment. Okay, it's kind of a scary change, but we're going to do it. Okay. Okay. I'm a little bit worried. About this. Whoops. Okay, so we're copying the pointer size now. Now we want to move all this code somewhere. And I was going to move it to set build options only. But like set build options copies all the fields. And we don't necessarily want to do that here. So we're going to make a thing called copy allocated build options. And that's not even going to be correct advertisement because there's like this. Let's not even put that in there. And then this also, this is not build options. So really, really it's just these. And then we'll do this in set build options also, which means this whole comment that I spent all that effort to write goes away. Okay. So we copy our U64, our new things. We copy our import path. That's it. Okay. No wonder we never had this problem before. Okay. Set build options. Copy allocated build options. This ampersand or dest source, just like that. Okay. I see. Let's just put this up here. Okay, well, I'm not totally thrilled about that. Okay. Now what? Why is this happening? I feel... Okay, so... Hmm. What did I mess up? I mean, we do this mem copy right here. So it's not like this is the problem. Because that would just be recopying the U64. Yeah. Oh, actually the U64 is... Oh, weird. So the U64 is actually fine, right? Hold on. Hold on, I forgot this fact. The U64 is fine, the string is fine. The pointer address is even fine. It's just the size is 0. We're not setting it in the original, are we? Guys? 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 Thank you. Thank you. I'm here all day. I'm here all week. I'm here all century. That's what you noticed originally. Well, I did not notice that originally. That explains a lot. Okay, great. going to delete that again. Oh, let's get it all in one batch so we could undo it. What's the... I need to retest the path thing, unfortunately, because so much doubt has been incurred now. But let's get rid of these. Feel much better about this now. Like they're different addresses. Yes, so you know it got copied. Okay, now it all makes sense. Okay. Well, this is all good. Before we check in, I do want to go back and redo the frickin' thing that I did. So again, if I run this on this, it will not work. And let's test the import path again, because that is one of the copied things. Options modified is true. New path is an array of string, array add. New path options dot, what is it called? Import path. Array add new path dot, and let's not forget what I did before, which is options dot import path is new path. Done. Oh wait, not that. This. Hey, look, it works. Okay, great. Now I think we could check in. What was I even doing? Add, oh, I should have the message here. There. And everywhere. Okay, that's great. I think that's everything that I wanted to do that was functionality. So now I think we write a simple how-to and then ship the beta after that. Ship the gamma. I don't think we will ship the gamma. All reported bugs are fixed? No, probably not. There is a bug backlog, but I have gotten what seemed like most of the serious ones. Do you have any big features left? There are definitely big features, but they are not required for now. They're not required for now. Okay. The how-tos live in the folder how-to, and So I think we make this 490. 490 default meta program. And what do we want to do in that? We just want to tell people, hey, there's a default meta program. You can, like, there might not even be any like uncommented source code in this file. It might just be more informational. We want to say, hey, look, here, you could see all this meta program stuff. Well, guess what? Your compiler gets compiled. There's one of these running underneath anyway, all the time. It is in the following place. It has, yeah, I think we're going to do that. And we're not going to make it. So we've had a few of these how-tos that are subfolders because they have many files, but this one is not going to be that. This one is just going to be like 490 default meta program. We'll tell people about it. And that'll be the last thing in the beta, probably. Okay. In recent installments, we've seen how to use metaprograms to do various simple tasks. Not simple, just various basic tasks. You can build, you can make a meta program for your project and build it out into arbitrary functionality, into whatever you want. Say that. But behind the scenes, there is lurking another meta program, which is the one, the compiler. I don't know how to explain, like, this is a thing, the compiler always runs at startup. That compiles whatever your first workspace is. You can see the source in modules default meta program. It looks much like the meta programs we've looked at so far, but it also does some startup stuff. Most of the time, you don't need to think about the default meta program. But if you want to, you can also override it and replace it with your own. You can do this with the command line option -meta. For example, Um, okay. Um, why would you want to replace the default meta program? Well, as we've discussed, you can use meta programs to do checking, do correctness checking on your code. When you do that, you get checking on the main program, but your meta program is still being checked by the default meta program. So it won't have whatever enhancements and customizations you add. This is fine. This is probably fine if your meta program is small, but for sizable projects, the MIA program it is advisable to just run it without the -meta option in as much as you can to make sure everything works well. Then I guess that's true. I don't know. Anyway, why else would you want to replace the default meta program? Well, the default meta program also does some startup stuff like the working directory, setting the working directory for the compiler. setting the name, the default name of the output executable based on the command line arguments, etc. You may want these things to work differently so you can substituting. I don't know. That's kind of all I want to say here. It's kind of a simple how-to. Am I missing anything? Opt-in safety checking in a meta program would be a Rust killer. You already have opt-in safety checking here. The thing is, you're not in this language. It's unlikely that you're ever going to have a lifetime analysis of the kind that you have in Rust, because that just requires tons of syntax all over your program that people won't have written, right? You need all that markup, and as soon as you don't have it, you can't do the analysis. But there's lots of checking you can do here that Rust cannot do. So that's where the power comes from. I wrote January in the changelog. Did I? That's silly. All right. Time does fly. Does the default meta program have to be in a modules folder? It has to be in a folder. Well, if it's not in modules, you need to say on the command line what folder it's in. Does anyone have questions about default meta programs? People who have been following along, please don't ask what is a default meta program, but like people who've been following along, are there any questions about this that I could answer and possibly mine that answer for material to put into this file? Because if not, it's beta ship time. Is meta programming used for the command console? Yeah, so what we do is we, when you want to write a command, you just sort of write the function for the command, and then the meta program scans your program to find those functions and then generates code that hooks them up to the console. In fact, I think one of our examples is a simpler version of that. Let me see. Oh, this is... That one's about entity types. Yeah, so maybe I didn't do commands as one of these examples. Isn't one of the reasons of default meta program to get rid of command line options entirely? I don't know that get rid of command line options entirely is a sensible goal. We have very, very, very few command line options compared to almost any other modern compiler, and that's good in my opinion. But sometimes being excessive about things is not helpful. So I'm not sure that it's a good idea to have 0 command line options. Can you add things on top of the meta program programmatically, or do you just copy pasta? I would copy pasta it and modify it. I think that's the best way to go. Is it easy to reuse code that's in default metaprogram? I mean, guys, it's 100 lines or whatever. It's 150. It's 170 lines, including lots of comments and print statements. It's like just not big. Like this looks bigger than it is because it spends all this time doing this and this. Like there's really not a lot here. What's the difference between specifying the meta program through the dash meta option versus calling it the first thing in your main file? Did I not explain that in this whole how-to? Well, that might be it then. I'm going to start doing the Linux executable generation, and if people come up with more ideas of what I write here, that can happen while I'm doing that. We are 49, built on 16th of February. We've look at, yeah, my brain isn't really doing language very well today. That is the case. Thank you for the typo notifications. All right, so that's it. Let's just run a test again. Let's do an LLVM test since we haven't done that in a while. Boom. All right. So now we come to the part you can't see because it's on my laptop. Bump version number for the beta people. Now I go to Linux machine and I update. Yeah, there's I think there's 36 how-tos. Right? There's a bunch of them. It's not nothing. Not as many as I would like. I would have hoped to make like one how-to a week on average, and I did not do that. There's like 36 how-tos, and the beta has been going for like 58 weeks. But that's more than one every 2 weeks. I bet, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do make here. I'm making a pizza pie. Making a pizza pie. Running it on the tests. Running them in x64. They are all passing. Oh, they passed. Okay. I will run them in LLVM. Which takes longer, but there we go. Okay. Well, this is going to go successfully. Are there any features that the beta testers don't know about? There are a few that are like not very documented, maybe not that well tested or serious features, but no major ones. All right. That succeeded. Update Linux binary. All right. Updates. We are updating. Show log. Build passing. Update by. Oh, it actually made us a binary today. Okay. We actually have to. I want to get the official one from the server. Let's revert this. This is the one we built before. We'll update this. Cool. Not dash Verzino version. Cool. Let's run that. It's just cranking along. I bet that's really good for Twitch compression when that's all zooming by. All right. We did it. Now I will do the secret things. I will do the secret things. We will wait for the upload to go. I will go to the mail. Okay. Beta users, new compiler beta with a link. And I go to the change log and I paste, and then I put the text in the basket or it gets the hose again. And I think that's everything. I'm going to hit send. Oh, I said I made a... Oops. That went out incorrectly. Anyway, that's great. It's done. Beta 49 is shipped. We have default meta program active for the people. This is historically good. It's Miller time, really. I don't know what to say. Like GG's, that's the biggest feature that we've shipped in a really long time. Not bad for 8:30 a.m. It's true. It's true. What light source do I use for the lamp? I don't know. There's some kind of LED bulb that fits in there. Well, LED so far looks awful. I don't know what to say. Let's do x64. Do x64 what? The back end? No. I didn't get enough sleep yesterday, and I was all like sleep zombieing. So today is a little bit similar. So I kind of actually even want to take a break, even though we've only been streaming for like an hour and a half. Yeah. It's been a productive hour and a half. So maybe I just take a break, and then maybe later today we can stream on the game a little bit, or one of the games on the Sokoban game, and do some stuff there, as opposed to, because we've been doing mostly compiler stuff on stream for a long time. We've done a little bit of game stuff, but it would be good to do a little bit more. Console stuff, probably not, no. Console holders get very upset when you show anything about their console, even if it's something that everybody knows. So it makes it very hard to do console work on stream. All right, let's find somewhere to send people, and I'll be back later on today. Oh, debug console, right. Actually, yeah, that would be a good thing to work on today, to bring that a little closer to completion. Good point. I misinterpret. See, that's why it's good to take a break, because my brain is not totally online. Okay. Something Russian is happening right now. Let's build a virtualized list component. I don't even know what that means. Alana's going. She's not programming, though. Pure C99 command buffers and shaders. That could be fun. I mean, taking a micro break, that's not that good. I kind of don't like the whole retro. See, kids don't understand. Kids, anyone substantially younger, people who are like, I don't know, let's say 35 and younger now, do not understand that, like, when we had those graphics for real back then, we wanted better graphics, and we moved past to the better graphics. Like, these graphics are bad, right? But they're so like fetishized and stuff. It's so weird. And the problem that I have with it is it's an easy out, sort of like, hey, I'm doing indie stuff and my game has retro graphics, and it's like, yeah, but it's harder to do non-retro graphic. Like, it's a way of taking an easy path where you're not admitting that that's what you're doing. Oh, this dude's back. All right, so let's raid. Thanks, everybody. Be nice, even though I just said retro art is not good. Be nice, and I'll see you later.